Welcome back, folks. My name is LastKnownMeal, and today we're going to be talking about Piranha Bytes and their upcoming project that we do believe is going to be Elex 2. Now, usually when I end up talking about Piranha Bytes, I end up talking about Gothic, and people have been asking me to talk more about Elex and what I expect from that game and what changes I want to see happen in Elex 2. So we're going to cover it all. We're going to cover when the game could be coming out based on the information we do have from Piranha Bytes, because they do have a channel with podcasts that they do upload. They are in German, but they do have subtitles after a while added to those videos. You can always check it out. And we're also going to be talking about, as I said, what changes could be made to improve on the game itself. So before we go into that, if you could please click that like and subscribe button, because it do help out the channel a lot, because YouTube algorithm works in that way. So if you could do it, that would be great. Thank you so much, and let's get into the video. So the previous game released by Piranha Bytes, which was Elex, was released on October 17th, 2017. It's been a while, it's been a few years since we had a new game from Piranha Bytes, and the reason why they take their time on developing these games is that Piranha Bytes right now, they're not a huge studio. I don't know exactly how many people they have employed, because a lot of information that we do have online could be outdated, but it's generally a smaller studio. Now, before that, they were bigger when they were working, for example, on Gothic 3, but obviously due to the problems of the studio throughout the years and with the recent revitalization of the studio, because they had released Elex, which, if we look back at previous Piranha Bytes games, especially Risen 2 and Risen 3, haven't done well as Elex did. So obviously they're doing something right, because a lot of new people who have never played a Piranha Bytes game are actually going into these games, and they can have a learning curve, definitely. You either hate them or love them on the first sight, because that's just how Piranha Bytes games are. But if you definitely look further into the game itself, you are going to see that their games are actually really good. Now, obviously, we can go back to Risen and say, well, maybe Risen 3 wasn't their best work by far, but it still was an okay game in my opinion. So originally Elex 2, or well, the Elex sequel, and I will be going a bit into spoilers, so if you haven't finished Elex 1, then please go and do that, because I will be talking about some things. So initially, I believe Elex 2 was supposed to release in 2020, but obviously due to COVID and due to everything happening in the world, they had to work from home as everyone else. That's why they actually postponed the announcement for 2021, as much as I was able to gather from their podcasts. So in my opinion, we are definitely gonna be getting something about their next game soon. Now, what could happen is that we could have a release date for Elex 2 sometimes by the end of the year, but I also do remember that when they announced Elex 1, it was about 7 to 8 to 12 months before the actual release, if we count in the first teaser trailer and then the proper trailers which were coming out. So in my opinion, if they are going to release Elex 2 in 2021, then we are gonna be seeing something relatively soon. There has to be some form of an announcement that we are going to see soon. If that's not the case, if somehow they postponed Elex 2 to 2022, then I'm afraid we're not going to hear anything till like September or something like that. But always keep in mind that Piranha Bytes likes to give it like 6 to 8 months from like the first announcement to the release date itself. And of course, they want to be on new consoles. Elex was available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, as well as PC. And obviously, with the release of new consoles, they can also take advantage for that. So what's gonna happen is that we're probably going to see a new Piranha Bytes game release on the last gen, or well, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, as well as the next gen PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, as well as obviously PC. That is out of the question. Now, one thing which makes me happy for Elex 2, or well, we think it's gonna be Elex 2, I'm like 95% certain it's gonna be Elex 2, because Piranha Bytes, if you didn't play their games before, they like to do trilogies. And if you look at the end of Elex with the imminent invasion of aliens and all of that, at the end, it kind of gives you that, you know, it kind of gives you that hint that something big might happen in Elex 2, and that's something that Piranha Bytes likes to do. They give you a world, and then they expand that world with something which is either coming to the world or something is about to happen. That were kind of a that was the plot of both Gothic 1 and Orwell Gothic series in general and Risen series in general, because it was driven through that, okay, something is happening, we have the Titans attacking, blah blah blah. Here we have, you know, Beliar, Adenosinos in Gothic, they're doing their own thing, so there is obviously something bigger which is going to happen in Elex 2, which is something that really makes me happy, to be honest. So now that Piranha Bytes has been acquired by THQ Nordic, one thing can be certain. THQ Nordic, I believe, did a part of the marketing for Elex 1 as well as they did marketing for Greedfall, which is another RPG which came out from another smaller studio called Spiders. And in my opinion, I think THQ Nordic did a masterful job when it came to overall marketing, because a lot of people heard about Greedfall even though it was coming from generally a smaller studio. But one thing which Piranha Bytes can definitely, you know, profit from is just the amount of resources THQ Nordic has, which is going to give them a much better marketing perspective than they had before. Because I believe that Piranha Bytes, you know, they're great on the development side, but I do believe a little bit on the marketing side or the PR side they could use some work. But overall, still, it's amazing that we are actually getting this, and in my opinion, I believe if they are going to release at the end of the year, we are going to see an announcement very soon. But obviously that is yet open for interpretation. But one thing we definitely want is for them to take their time, because Elex was definitely better in my opinion than Risen 3. They definitely upped their game for Elex 1, but Elex still had a lot of crucial, I believe, technical issues that should be ironed out in Elex 2, especially when it came to controls, when it came to responsiveness, when it came to generally, I mean, the story was good, but you know, sometimes that story missed like something which is going to give it that grandiose thing. But the overall plot and the outline they have for the story is actually very good, and in my opinion, I believe they have to tighten a bit the actual world or the universe they're setting Elex in, because obviously weapons and everything that people used in Elex 1, like for example guns, were way too overpowered compared to swords and arrows and bows. But interesting concept, they just need to tighten it up a little bit, and I do believe we are going to have a quality game. Some people also asked me, like, should they actually maybe dumb down their games a little bit, because generally every single game made by Piranha Bytes has a bit of a learning curve. They don't really give you any hints on what to do, especially, and if you roam into a bad territory, you're gonna get, you know, downed instantly by some monster. And, you know, every time when Piranha Bytes released the game, it was like that. Some parts of the map had stronger monsters, some didn't, so you had to kind of make your way through all of that. Obviously, it's not the learning curve, and it's not really that they should dumb down their game, definitely not. I really like the way that their games are shaped, especially without, you know, the game, it's not guiding your hand. You have to think for yourself sometimes how you're going to finish a certain quest, how are you going to approach a certain monster, etc, etc. So from that side, I just think they obviously need to tighten up that technical side, which means fighting and all of that. But overall, when it came to their formula of the games, I think they're fine in my opinion. So yeah, that's all we know about Elex. That's just my prediction on what I have about this year. I could be wrong, obviously they could go with a different game whatsoever, but I don't think Piranha Bytes is going to do that. They never actually jumped from one thing to another before. They kind of have the one thing and they stick with it, and then they continue on to, let's say, a new IP if they're finished with this, but they like trilogies in general. So yeah, that would be all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please drop them down below and I will be answering them. And also check us out on Twitter and Discord if you want to stay updated with the latest news. And as I said, please, if you want, subscribe for more content. This is LKM signing out. Thank you so much for watching. If you actually want to support the channel in an extra way, I do have a Patreon page, so check it out, and huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. So we're looking forward to the new Piranha Bytes game. We are waiting, and I think our wait is coming to an end very soon, but we shall see. I was kind of right about these things before, so we shall see what happens. Thank you for watching. This is LKM again signing out, and stay classy everyone. Bye bye.